always have a poo bag with you.
Even if you don't have a dog.
Yes, absolutely. You make it short yourself.
You shouldn't be that near to a salmon, frankly, when it's just about to pop.
No. If you're a doctor, please email in. Wanging On at listen.co.uk. I don't want to diagnose her myself. And welcome to Wanging On with Graham and Maria, our new weekly podcast where we do our level best to help with your dilemmas. I am Graham. That's Maria. Hello.
Hi, I'm Maria McKellen, and this is Raffi. I nearly said Dolly, which is the dead dog.
That's a dead dog.
Yeah.
Wow, you've brought it down already.
Sorry.
Would you call Raffi highly strung?
It's difficult because he's 2 now, and I thought he would get better, but he's really responsive to noise, and so I don't know what to do.
Like he can still hear. He hasn't gone deaf.
Unlike most of us, pardon. So if somebody opens a crisp packet, he jumps. So I'm wondering if I should get some little earmuffs or something.
That'd be adorable.
I mean, basically...
And also explain why he doesn't come when he hears his name, why he doesn't sit when you say sit.
No, he does do that. He is a reincarnation of my mother because he doesn't like going out. He would really happily just stay home playing with all his little toys. My mum didn't play with her toys, but she did like to watch Homes Under the Hammer, and sits on the counter and judges me and says things like, "You're going out in that?"
Yeah, really?
At your age?
Now, talking of age,
Yes.
I am told, I don't believe this, people are interested in how we know each other. Because clearly we've been friends since, Moses was a child.
Yes, we have. We've known each other. I used to be 30-something years, and
Is
I
it
don't
Edinburgh
know.
Festival? Is that how we know each other? When did you do a show in Edinburgh with Anne Bryson? I think I met you with Anne Bryson.
Ah, yes.
Google her, Philadelphia cheese.
Yeah, one of the Flaming Hamsters. That was her double act.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did a show with Julie Bellou and Jenny Eclair, which was called 30-something. There was a TV programme on at the time called 30-somehow.
No, it was called 30-something.
Yeah.
You were called 30-somehow.
Yeah, thank you. You know, how time changes things in your mind.
Googling in real time. Googling ourselves.
But then, really... So
I read with interest that we met...
I read with interest that I know Graham Norton. But then we met properly when we did a terrible show called Carnal Knowledge, which we must try and forget.
That's when we bonded, because it was so horrible.
It was not a pleasant experience, and we did record, as was the thing in those days, probably still is, for chat shows done on the cheap, to record sort of 4 and 5 shows a day, where you really didn't know whether you had just said something before, or you were dreaming, or you were having a terrible nightmare.
And it was a kind of a dirty Mr. and Mrs. quiz, and to get the contestants relaxed, they were like feeding the bottles of Beck's in the car park
at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a very pleasant experience.
It didn't feel like show business.
No.
No.
That was our first foray, really, as well, wasn't it?
And remarkably, we've stayed friends since.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people would have fallen out during that horrible experience. Well, because it was,
It was intense,
it was one of the things where you either clung to each other and kind of went, we can get through this, or you'd have hated the other person.
That's true.
Because
I think we clung. And then, of course, Graham went on to do a chat show where you stood in for somebody. And then he got really famous. And I didn't. But really, I'm not bitter at all about it.
Look, you still have a seat at the table.
I still have a seat at the table, exactly. I paid for this seat at the table, though.
Yes.
You got yours free.
I know, you bid at an auction, and here you are.
Graham, I've been dying to tell you this because I know you'll be fascinated. A few weekends ago, I spent the weekend with...
What, in a romantic way?
No.
Oh, right.
At a sort of house party.
Oh, there were other people there.
And yes, and there was a beauty aesthetician. I can't really say that very well. But anyway, he dealt with Botox.
Is that because you're numb in the mouth now?
No, I didn't have anything done, but I heard about all the new things that you can have done. And I think there's a few that will suit you.
Tell me all.
Salmon sperm.
Oh, please.
That he tells me. I know, really. It really is like I saw you coming. It's like
you saw the salmon coming.
Sorry.
Not in my eye, salmon.
Oh, no.
Not in my eye.
Stop it. You shouldn't be that near to a salmon, frankly, when it's just about to pop.
No.
If you are, there's something wrong with you.
That's very intrusive.
Yeah, it's very intrusive. So salmon sperm and also snail slime.
Please. face.
There is snail slime.
It is pathetic that in whatever year this is, 2025 or something, that people are still falling. Because that does sound like something ridiculous.
It's snake oil, isn't it?
That, an old woman in a cottage at the end of the village would sell you.
Yeah.
It is madness.
But it is the thing that we're all trying to... There was something on the radio the other day about plastic surgery. And there are all these people of like 25 and 30 calling in to say the things that they'd had done. A bum lift and a this, that, and a gastric band. I mean, I do feel... out of all the kind of feminist ideology, the very fact that we are still kind of holding on, it's just, you cannot grow old. But
except you do, you just grow old differently. No one with plastic surgery looks young.
No.
They just look differently old. And it's a kind of a weird circle of silence where no one says to their friend, Jesus, you look awful.
Well, it's the lips thing as well, isn't it?
It's all of it.
We see now people with lips that if you haven't had your lips done, you look kind of unique.
Yes.
And therefore rather nice.
And emaciated, yeah. Whereas most people look like they've been an allergic reaction.
I did think after a weekend of talking to him about this that I might have CO2 laser resurfacing.
Really?
No?
No.
Do you think?
No.
It's about 2 weeks of downtime where you scab, but then underneath all of this, sun damage, smoking in the early days, you get new skin.
I know, but you could tie yourself to the back of a car and be dragged down the road. And
I wouldn't get it evenly on my back and on my legs. Ha 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 ha. Well, do you ever have anything done?
No, because yes, I would, but I'm too. It's that kind of equation in your life, isn't it? Kind of vanity versus laziness.
Yeah.
And laziness wins out in my life. Also, vanity equals humiliation. People are humiliated by their vanity.
No, I don't think so, because two of the people there, and there are lots of people in show business that have had hair transplants, for example, and they are very, very. Did I say nothing?
No, they're lying.
They're lying. What do you mean?
People have a hair transplant.
Then they have another one.
No, then they start having those sticky-on wigs and pretending it's still the hair transplant. Hair transplants fall out. Talk to Wayne Rooney. They fall out. They never stay in.
I know, but that's one name out of many.
No.
Jimmy Nesbitt has had good ones. Okay. You know.
I say nothing. I'm just saying those sticky-on wigs are very good now. And if you have one...
Are we talking Trump wiggy type
No.
things?
They're better than that. They're really, really good.
Okay.
But if you have had a hair transplant...
I think they're called hair systems.
Oh, yes, a hair system, of course. Not yet.
We don't say wig anymore.
No.
We don't say syrup. Syrup of figs.
Did we ever?
I did. Is he wearing a syrup?
We've been talking... Wanging On for about 3 hours now. And we haven't got to the meat of the podcast, which is da problems.
Yes.
We are addressing the people's problems. Is there any way that people can get in touch with their problems?
Yes, there is, Graham.
Could you tell us?
Yes. If you want to email us, it's wangingon with a G at listen.co.uk. And also you can find us on Instagram, and that is at Wanging On.
But please be aware that we are not experts in anything. You have been warned. Well, would you look at that? It's time for our first letter. Maria, you've got an envelope to open.
Oh, yes, I have.
Yes, you nearly forgot. Week 2, emphasis on week.
This is where I get terribly busy.
That manicure is paying for itself.
What manicure would that be? Here we are. Put that in the filing tray. Mr. Norton, will you file that later,
That's the out
please?
tray.
Dear Graham and Maria, my work bestie is dating a guy I used to date, and I don't know what to do. She started telling me about an amazing guy she'd matched with online, and then she brought him to work drinks.
Wow.
He turned out to be someone I'd had a pretty serious thing with, and it didn't end well. He became pretty toxic. When she introduced him, he pretended he didn't know me, and that felt so awkward, but I just went along with it. I also didn't want to make a scene in front of other work people. Very wise. I hate not telling her the truth, but she's so into him, and I don't want to damage our friendship by making her feel she has to take sides. What should I do? Oh, it's my own namesake, and that is from Maria in Lincoln. Against every sort of factor of my being, Maria in Lincoln, I'm going to say stay stumm.
Oh, it's so hard. Because
say nothing.
Normally I would say nothing because, it's always shoot the messenger, blah, blah, blah. But in this instance, I feel like when this ends, which it sounds like it's gonna, because you know what this guy will do.
He'll tell.
This guy is going to throw her under the bus when this comes to an end. So I think you need to kind of almost throw yourself under the bus. And if it wrecks your relationship, so be it. But at least you were in control of it. You know, she's not marching into the office sobbing, going, why didn't you tell me?
But also, Maria, I'm sorry to say, you were in control of it at the work, Stu. When introduced, you could have said, yes, we've met. That's all you needed to say. Yes, we've met. And leave it that enigmatically.
No, but you'd no time to prepare. She was blindsided. She didn't know it was going to be this guy.
But he took the lead there.
Yes, he did.
And he pretended that you hadn't met, which was cowardly of him, especially, as you say, Graham, he's going to throw you under the bus at some point in this relationship.
Yes, he is.
But if she does tell her, she'll have to go into all the details of how toxic it became.
No, that's what you don't do. Don't say they're horrible, but just say, look, I don't want to talk about it. I've got nothing to say to you, but I just feel weird because when you brought the boyfriend in and he didn't say anything, I feel like I want to tell you, we went on a few dates.
Quite a bit more than that.
Yeah, but just downplay it.
Okay, downplay.
Just say, we went on a few dates, but, you know, I have no feelings for him. You know, I never wanted to become awkward, and leave it at that. And then a friend can go and quiz him. And then he will then say, oh, she's a witch.
She's toxic.
Yeah, she burnt all my shirts, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's why I feel, you know, we're playing into his handbook here, aren't we?
But then what should she say?
I think you just say, I didn't want to...
You're dating a wrong one.
No, it didn't end well. I think you just have to say something like, it didn't end well, and I don't think it was me. Oh, Rafi agrees with me.
Well, I don't think it was me. You're never going to think it was me, you know. Oh, poor dog.
Sorry, that was me. Something I ate.
It was that late lunch.
It's kind of difficult. But, I mean, I can fully see that the friend might invite you out with the boyfriend again.
But also...
What do you do? Do you not go?
Well, also, here's the thing. Friend, I worry for friend because friend is way too overexcited about this relationship. Bringing some guy you've just matched with to work drinks...
works do.
Madness. And already it's gone wrong.
She was pleased with herself, though. So
yes,
she wanted
she was
to
delighted
show
with herself.
that she's not a lonely old maid, that, look, she's got this lovely person. I mean, you know, not much ends well.
Well, there's that.
Shakespeare write that.
Yeah, it's beautiful. All's well that ends well.
That's right,
yeah.
yes.
He said the opposite. He said the absolute opposite of that.
I don't know how Maria in Lincoln gets herself out of this without him managing to diss her.
Yeah, but I feel like don't waste any time here. Just kind of go, don't want things to be weird, but it was just weird. When you brought John to drinks, I wasn't expecting to see him, so I didn't say anything, but he didn't say anything either.
We did used to date.
Or just say, has he mentioned that we used to date?
Right.
And leave it at that. It's going to be rocky. It is going to be awkward.
She'll go back to him and then the floodgates will open.
It's going to be weird and rocky, but I think that's the only thing. You can't say nothing.
No, I think you could get another job, Maria.
Get new friends, a new identity.
Leave Lincoln.
Yeah, witness protection is always a lovely option. Listen, I think it's high time we found out what our listeners... We're sort of calling them wangers. Are we still calling them wangers?
I know, but every time you say that, it sounds like a rude. But
I
never
know.
mind.
Anyway,
well,
let's find out what they thought, because, of course, people who are invested in the programme, people who've engaged with the podcast...
They get special
previews of the problems. What you do, if you'd like to be one of those listeners, you just email us at wangingon@listen.co.uk.
James says, don't lie or deceive, even accidentally. Tell her all about him. Tell him you've told her. Then leave them to it. If she decides to stick with him, she's a grown-up. It's up to her. And you shouldn't meddle. But she's going to be the piggy in the middle that will, blame the person
Yeah,
down.
no, but like I say, I think their friendship will take a dip after this.
And then we'll survive.
And then
hopefully.
I think it will survive the other end of this terrible relationship.
Yeah. And as I said, there are other jobs, Maria. Anna says, what's the big deal? When you say work bestie, is that essentially someone you get along with in the office but never see outside of work? Good point. If so, just forget about it. How often are you really going to spend with them as a couple?
Well, because I think what Anna's missed is the end of this, when friend comes sobbing into the office going, why did you say it? And then you kind of go, sorry.
What is she going to come into the office doing?
She'll be hysterical.
Do it again.
I'm a trained actor. I won't dance for you.
Okay, so dance for me. Philippa says, if this is a proper friend, just tell her all about him. If she doesn't heed your warnings, grab the popcorn and watch it all fall apart. At least you tried. That's basically what you said.
Well, no, I didn't say tell her all about him. You don't want to start briefing against him. That's the
Yeah.
You don't want to do that.
It's going to be very hard, though, for Maria not to brief against him because she was quite into him and it ended really badly and there was a lot of toxicity. Is that a word?
It is.
Yes,
now.
it is. So it's very hard for her to rein that in, I think. But what she could say is, look, it ended very badly for me. I think we clashed personally, blah, blah, blah. It was a personality thing. But I'm sure with you it will be different.
No, I think when she asks questions, kind of go, look, to be honest, I'm not very comfortable talking about it because, that was us. That was us and what happened between us.
I don't want to colour you.
I don't want you to think what happened with us is going to happen to you. Then that makes it sound like you killed a man.
There's no way. There's no way.
It was a hit and run accident. He begged me to leave the scene.
There's no way round you getting it in the neck, Maria, frankly, I think.
No.
Because they're a couple now. They can make up whatever they like.
Grace took the trouble to tell us this. The cheek. Oh, my goodness. The cheek of this fella.
Oh.
I think we know a lot about Grace.
Yeah.
The cheek of this fella pretending not to know you. Next time you see him at a work drinks or whatever, pull him to the side and tell him if he doesn't disclose your relationship history to your friend, you will. Some people only respond to ultimatums.
Oh, I think Grace has been there, hasn't she? She's
I think we
been
should
there.
do it. The next drinks go up with a pair of Y-fronts and say, you left these in my house. You forgot these. and then see what happens.
No, I think you should move away from Lincoln and get another job.
Maria in Lincoln, I'm not sure if we helped. It is a really tricky dilemma.
It's a good one, Maria.
It is a tricky dilemma, but I don't think you can keep stum. I don't think you can keep entirely stum.
No, but really you missed your opportunity at the drinks too, but you were caught unawares, so... But don't let him rule the agenda, which he's now going to do, obviously. That's what makes me a bit crazy.
Full stop. Letter 2, up soon. Maria, I long to hear our second problem. Do you have it in an envelope anywhere nearby?
I do, Graham. But
you're busy filing. You're busy filing.
It might take me a minute because I'm just filing the letters we've done so far.
Yes. Under R for red.
Yes, that's right. Right. Resolved.
Solved.
Dear Graham and Maria, whenever you go to a supermarket, they always encourage you to use a bag for life, which is always a good thing and good for the environment.
Yes.
Okay, I know where this is going. But for the last couple of years, I've noticed a pattern. Whenever I go and shop in, say, Tesco or Asda, I always carry a Waitrose bag for life because I find it to be more heavy and durable compared to the others. However, the look of absolute disdain I get from shop workers, and in particular store security, is enough to make me think I've run over a cat by accident or treaded in a load of dog poo. Do you think the next time I go to, say, Tesco, that I should use a Tesco bag for life and not upset... I lost the will to live and not upset staff.
Keep going. We get to the end of this game.
Or should I continue to use the Waitrose bag for life, but maybe jazz it up a bit? Blue Peter style.
Jeez, I wasn't expecting this curveball.
Wait, it hasn't ended yet. Jazz it up, Blue Peter styley, with some cut-up washing up bottles. Are you taking and some sticky back plastic? And that is from Craig in Manchester. Craig in Manchester, you are taking... something.
I mean, I know we said we'd do any dilemma.
Yeah. Well, listen, it's all relative. Craig doesn't get out much, apart from to Tesco and Asda. And when he does, he always goes...
When does he shop in Waitrose? Why does he have a Waitrose bag? How did he get it?
Someone gave it to him. Yeah.
Someone brought a bottle of wine to his party. Yeah. And they go, well, keep that bag for life.
Because it's heavy and durable.
Yes.
That will
I didn't know they had Waitrose in Manchester.
They don't have them in Hastings. We're not rich enough in Hastings, unfortunately. Now, Craig in Manchester, I'm going to take this seriously.
Are you really?
Yes.
Okay.
Because we have already ripped him. Anyway, yes, Craig, I just think Why are you looking at the security guards looking at you? You're drawing attention to yourself, so don't ever shoplift in Asda or Tesco because they will have you over a barrel, mate. Just carry on with whatever bag you like. Mix it up, maybe.
There's a weird kind of self-consciousness in him, isn't there? I mean, we should all feel like we're the star of...
We're the stars of our own show, but sadly, we're not being filmed all the time.
Yes.
But Craig thinks he does.
No,
He
Craig
is.
genuinely believes that I think his level of self-awareness is too high. Because
Level of
actually,
self-worth.
no one's paying attention. No one's paying attention.
Really, nobody cares.
It makes me think maybe he has stepped in dog poo. Maybe that is why people
And
are
run
looking.
over a cat.
And yes.
And it's in the bag for life. That's why they're staring, because it's starting to smell, Craig. And
Check the bag. Part of me...
you always say, read between the lines. What's he really asking? What's his real problem?
I mean, his real problem is that I think he thinks people are paying attention to him when they're not. But this is one of those instances where, there's no need to worry about this. I am aware of what's going on in supermarkets. I have so many supermarket pet peeves. So many.
Oh, I'd like to hear some of them.
The one that really annoys me is when you put your basket in the thing of baskets.
Yeah. The handles.
Don't at the handle.
I'm with you on that.
Or if you didn't do it, then don't stack your basket ass up on top of the damn handle.
Yeah, because then you're just adding to the problem.
It drives me insane.
But why don't the supermarkets employ somebody
Well, they do, but they just look at
to
it.
flip it like that
Yeah.
to make it okay?
Yeah. Also, people who just stand. The people who like standing in front of something, and then whatever they were doing, they've stopped doing. Like they're not looking for anything anymore. They've drifted into.
They've gone into a coma.
Yeah, they've drifted into kind of what I ate yesterday or what I'm doing this weekend.
I want
to punch them in the head.
I think the German supermarkets, the Aldis and the Lidls, which I'm a big fan of, are the middle aisle where you can, buy a balaclava or a swimming pool that you self-inflate.
Yes, but whatever it is useless. It is a robotic Hoover.
You will never use it.
Well, you will once.
But, the middle aisle is comedy gold, frankly, for the things that you can get.
Yes, I remember during COVID, it was the great pleasure in Gary Barlow's life because he was wearing a mask.
Why is it Gary Barlow?
He was able to enjoy the middle aisle. Without people judging him. In fact, he was on the phone to his wife just describing all the untold treasures in the middle aisle.
Gary Barlow, funny without trying.
No, but it was a good... I liked it.
Bless him.
But anyway, back to Craig and his bag. His very expensive bag. I can't believe that any listeners were eager enough to share their advice on this.
You would be wrong.
But apparently they have. Let's hear it.
Elliot says, let's not beat around the bush. You are a terrific snob, just like me. So you only want to use the Waitrose bag to send a subliminal message that there must be some other reason why you're slumming it in this establishment when you're obviously the sort who doesn't belong here. There's nothing wrong with being a hyacinth bucket character,
Wait a minute. How bad are Tesco and Asda? Like, they are open to the public.
I know, really.
It's not like they're just throwing food at people walking by.
I mean, Aldi and Lidl, I can see it, but no, I can't. I, too, want to project an image to the pyjama-wearing shoppers, I see, who frequent these type of establishments, that I am better than them. We've got more, though, Graham.
What is wrong with the listeners?
No. George says, I actually get totally paranoid about this too. I know it's silly, but just keep all the reusable bags from the different supermarkets you visit and make sure you bring the right one. Oh my goodness. When you head back to each shop. Also have a little pile of plain tote bags that nobody will have an opinion on, and always keep one on you just in case. Who are these people?
I mean, poo bags I get. Always have a poo bag with you. But a plain tote.
Even if you don't have a dog.
Yes, absolutely. You make it short yourself.
Glenn has something as well. If it was the other way round and you were using a Tesco bag in a branch of Waitrose, I'd be mortified on your behalf. But since you're using a Waitrose bag in a Tesco's, enjoy your elite status. There's a lot of snobbishness about this that I never knew existed.
I mean, I kind of knew it existed in a kind of a jokey way. Ooh, Waitrose. But they're all supermarkets. I mean, there is
Yeah.
a price difference, but it's not that vast.
No, and also I never look at anybody's bag, or if I do, think, "Oh, you must have a lot of money."
Yeah.
I never think that. You
No.
shopped in Waitrose.
You spent £1 on a plastic bag. Hello, Craig. If that helped, good. Yeah, that's all I have to say to you, Craig.
I like the notion, though, Graham, that we can say about that one. Remember, we're not experts. About the bag thing.
Yeah.
If you have been affected by a Waitrose bag or indeed any supermarket bag, please get in touch with the relevant pastoral help.
We will deal with any problem. So do get in touch if you've got something you'd like us to consider. Wanging On at listen.co.uk. That's also the address to use if you'd like to take part in our shiny new segment, Am I Weird? That's coming up. Now, at the end of every episode of Wanging On, we have a new segment. Yes, we have.
We do.
Yes,
do.
it's called
It's going
Am I
terribly
Weird?
well. It's going terribly well.
It's really caught fire.
It's been going for a week.
no one's talking about anything else. Basically, you send in the question, Am I weird? And we give our verdict on anything you do that might be a little bit out of the ordinary. So week 2, who's asking,
I
Am
think
I
people
weird?
are going to try and out-weird each other, aren't they?
Good.
I think it's going to get a little bit the word. That was a show in the 1990s.
Oh, you do you remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Grannies kissing and things. Anyway, here it is. This is from Mark, and he's in Tunbridge Wells. You just said that.
No.
Oh, I just said it. Okay. Hi, Graham and Maria.
If you're a doctor, please email in. Hanging on at listen.co.uk. I don't want to diagnose her myself.
Am I weird in saying after everything I say, did you just say that?
Yeah, I heard that. Were you talking? No, it was you.
Okay, stop. Hi, Graham and Maria. Am I weird that I take a souvenir from my one-night stands?
Yes.
Nothing major. I'm not a hardened criminal. Just a little keepsake from their place. So far, I've nabbed a lovely bar of soap, a glass tumbler, a coaster, and a fetching scarf. All from different people, I should add. Oh, we don't like this, Mark, in Tunbridge Wells. I do think that that's kind of what they call stealing.
Yes, I was expecting smaller things, like a button or, or
a cigarette butt.
Yeah, or a used cotton tip bud from the bathroom. Not like a scarf.
No.
Yeah.
Because also, Mark, in Tunbridge Wells, I want to say to you, what do you do with these things? Have you got a little glass case at home where you keep them and then there's a story attached to this one? Oh, yeah, she was a blonde. I met her in the pub.
Use them as an aid memoir.
Yeah, I don't like it. It's not good. If you ask people when you, sleep with them or whatever you do, say, do you think I can take something from you? You know what they're going to say? No.
Yeah. Also, like, it's kind of weird because, yes, it's a lovely aid memoir.
No, it's horrible.
But equally, it's not great. You've only got 4 things.
Well, maybe
I'm a player. Look, I've got a tumbler, a scarf, and a coaster.
Maybe he's just selected a few from a very long list.
I don't think so.
No, you don't think so. But I'm urging you, Mark, to stop because, that scarf was knitted by her granny. Or his granny. We don't know, do we?
That we don't know. I think I agree with Maria in this case, Mark. You are weird. And also, it's a bit klepty. It's a bit steely.
I mean, listen, if you're going to say to the people that I had a really nice time with you last night, I'm never going to call you again, by the way, but can I have a memento? See how they respond.
Yeah, no. Take a photograph of them while they're sleeping on your phone. Nothing weird about that.
Don't. I had a person whose house I went back to.
No.
Yeah, and oddly, he was my old art teacher's son that I then met up with in London. My mistake. I know. So I went back to his house, and I think we knew what was on the cards. And then I saw on his wall, in his desk, it was Polaroids in those days, of course, lots of Polaroids of ladies in...
Oh, other people, not you.
Other people, no, not me. And
that's all right, then.
and then he said to me, "Would you do you want to have a photograph?" And I said, "No, thank you. I'm leaving." Because I don't like what was that's for him. It's like having a little wank bank, isn't it?
Is that what that is?
Well, I don't know.
I remember a bar in LA where you get a free drink if you went into the back and let them take a picture of your penis.
No.
Yeah, and then the pictures were all hung up on a washing line, and you'd kind of be looking at them all, thinking, "I wonder whose is whose." They were headless. Yeah.
I could go into that and have a picture of my penis taken.
Yes. Worth it for a free drink, innit?
Would they hang it up with the rest?
Yeah.
Very tiny one.
Peering up. Yeah. It was the lighting. It was the lighting.
That's very weird.
Yeah. Yes, Mark, you're weird. And with that, we are out of time and interest. We should mention again, in case you haven't guessed, we aren't experts. Not even slightly.
Yes, now if you need genuine help.
Really, Maria?
No. Please seek out genuine help from the proper channels. And there's more on
Go
our...
to the checkout, not the self-service aisle.
I'm getting hysterical. We're on Instagram as well, at Wanging On.
But if you do want some totally on-serious advice, then get in touch. Wanging On at listen.co.uk.
And Wanging On with Graham and Maria is a Listen production.
All of that is true. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.